Hello, dear students. We will start with the next chapter, that is human body and organ system. Now we all know that there are different types of organ in our body, and for our body to work properly, all those organs need to function properly. Different organs, they combine together to form organ system. For example, different organs of our digestive system forms together and it forms our digestive system. Different organs of our respiratory system, example your nose, your pharynx, your larynx, your lungs, all these things combine together to form your respiratory system. So these are called as the organ system. So all the organs which are there in your body, so all these organs will combine together, and these organs, some specific organs combine together and form the organ system. So you have different types of organ system. You have respiratory system, digestive system, nervous system, excretory system, etc. and etc. Now all these systems are very important for our survival, and even a slight mislead, or you can say a slight defect in any of the organ will affect the entire organ system of that part. So now we will be learning about two main important organ system in our body. First is the respiratory system and the organs which are involved in the respiratory system. And second, we will be studying about the circulatory system and all the organs which are involved in the circulatory system. Now we all know that our body is made up of different types of organs, and to perform the function of different organs, it is very important that energy is produced properly. Now, where does the energy will be produced? So, the energy is produced in our cells. Now, our body is made up of cells. Our basic building block is cell. We are made up of millions of cells. They combine together to form organs, then organs combine together to form organ system, then they combine together to form a human body. So we have the basic system, that is cell. So our cell provides the energy which is needed for our body to function properly. So we will be studying about the how the energy is being produced with different types of system which is going on in our body. Let us talk about respiration. Now children, if I'll ask you what is respiration, you will simply taking in of oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, that is respiration. But no, there are different types of respiration that takes place in our body. The respiration that happens with oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is a different type of respiration there, but when you take in the oxygen, it goes inside your blood and then it is carried to the cell and all. That is a different type of respiration. So according to that, respiration are of three types. The first is the external respiration. Now external respiration takes place in two ways, that is by inspiration, or you can say inhalation, or by expiration, or you can say exhalation. Now what do you mean by inhalation? That is when you take in air through your nose and it is sent towards your lung and your trachea. This is called as the respiration, which is inhalation. You inhale the air. So first of all, you inhale the air through your nose, it goes through your trachea and windpipe, and through them it reaches to your lungs. So this is called as inhalation. Then you have different type, that is exhalation, or you can say expiration. Now what happens is that carbon dioxide which is there, now that carbon dioxide, from where it comes from the blood. So from the blood it is given, and then it is given towards the lungs, and from the lungs, from the trachea, then again it comes out through your nose, and that what comes out is carbon dioxide. This is called as exhalation. So you take in oxygen through inhalation and you give out carbon dioxide through exhalation. This is called as the external respiration. Then another thing is the internal respiration. Now air तो जो है it went to your lungs, but वहां से किधर गया oxygen? So that oxygen it goes to your cells. Now exchange of gases takes place between your cells and tissue fluid, and this is called as the internal respiration, which happens internally between your blood and your tissue and the cell. So this is called as the internal respiration. And the third type of respiration is the cellular respiration. Now in cellular respiration, the energy is formed. Now we get energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. This is which provides energy to us. So what happens is the food which is there in your body, that is glucose, we consume the nutrients which is there, that is in the form of glucose, fructose and so on. So that glucose it combines with oxygen. Now from where oxygen came? Oxygen came through inhalation. So that glucose it combines with oxygen and it gives out carbon dioxide, water, and along with it it gives out ATP, that is nothing but the adenosine triphosphate, which is a form of energy. So all these things happen inside your cell only. So inside the cell, energy is also formed, and as a waste product, carbon dioxide is formed. Now that carbon dioxide which is formed, it is then given again into your blood, and then through your lungs it comes out of your body. So this is called as the cellular respiration, which produces what? Energy also. It produces carbon dioxide, which is a waste which is then given out through our body. So these are the three types of respiration, that is external, which has to inhalation or inspiration, and expiration or exhalation. We have internal respiration and cellular respiration, from which we get what? We get energy. Now children, let's understand our respiratory system, different organs of our respiratory system and the function of those organs. But before that, can you name the different organs of our respiratory system? We have nose, we have pharynx, larynx, we have trachea, we have lungs. Inside the lungs, we have bronchioles, then we have alveoli, and then we have diaphragm. All these organs together, they combine and form what? They form our respiratory system. Now here you can see the organs of the respiratory system. From here the air goes inside, that is our nasal cavity. Then here we have our pharynx and larynx. In this only we have our food pipe and windpipe. Then we have our trachea. This structure is called as the trachea. We have two lungs, and inside the lungs you can see these networks which you can find. These are called as bronchioles, and these bronchioles have thin outer lining which is called as the alveoli. It is very thin, minute capillaries. Then we have at the base, that is our diaphragm. Now we will be taking one organ and we will be studying in detail about these organs. Let us first start with the upper respiratory system. The upper respiratory system consists of our nasal cavity, that is our nose, our pharynx and larynx. The pharynx and larynx have our windpipe and our food pipe. So first of all, our nose. Now our nose takes in the air goes in through our nose. Now in the nose we have small minute hairs, and we also have mucus. Now what is the function of hair and mucus? That it filters the air. The air is filtered through those hair and the mucus present in your nose. Then the air, it moves forward. Then we have our pharynx. Now food pipe and the windpipe, it originates from the pharynx. Now you will see that windpipe is present in front of the food pipe. Now on the top of the windpipe there is a flap, or you can say a lid like structure, which closes and opens. Now why do you have that lid like structure on your windpipe? Now whenever you are eating food, now as both the pipes are connected to each other, it might happen that food directly goes into your windpipe. So to prevent that, we have a flap like structure, so that food directly doesn't goes into your windpipe and it goes into your food pipe. So these things are present in your pharynx. It originates from your pharynx. So from the windpipe, the air which you have inhaled, that goes into your windpipe, and then air passes through the pharynx into the windpipe. Then windpipe, if you will see, it is like a swollen structure. Look at the pharynx, you will find a swollen structure is present. So that is our windpipe. And there we have our sound box also. As we have our sound box, that is why it is swollen. Now the windpipe which is there, it bifurcates into the trachea. You will find that two windpipes are there, and the trachea, and two structures, it originates into your left and the right lung. So these are called as the thoracic cavity, the thorax which is present, and from the thorax it bifurcates into two lungs, two pipe-like structures. It goes into your two lungs. Now here you can see that the windpipe, it bifurcates into the thorax, and you have one branch goes into the right lung and the other goes into the left lung. Now the lungs are present on either side of the thoracic cavity. Also, the lungs occupy the maximum space in your thoracic cavity. And now the lungs, they are made up of double layered covering, and that is called as pleura. The covering from which our lungs are made up of, that is called as pleura, and they are like elastic sponge. Now lungs are made up of many small compartments. You will find that there are various like branches which is going and going. So these are called as the alveoli. So alveoli, it is very thin, and you will find that there are various network of small minute capillaries which are present, minute small tube-like structure which are called as capillaries inside the alveoli. So inside the alveoli, we have those minute capillaries. Also, the walls of the alveoli, it is very thin, and also the capillaries are also very thin. So what happens is, it is very useful for the exchange of gases across the wall. As the wall is very thin, so whenever air goes in, it goes into your lungs from the alveoli to the blood, then the exchange of gases becomes very much easy because the wall is very thin. So this thin wall helps in the exchange of gases. The larger surface, why the lungs have the larger surface? Because of the exchange of gases. The main important function of the lung is related to the exchange of gases. So that is why it is made up of very thin layer of the alveoli which is there, so that the exchange of gases is possible. Now, how the transport of gases takes place. So the exchange of gases takes place with the help of RBCs. Now in your RBCs, there is a protein which is called as hemoglobin. You must have heard about hemoglobin. So now these hemoglobin, it absorbs the oxygen from the alveoli. So the oxygen is being absorbed by the hemoglobin, and in return the carbon dioxide is then given into the alveoli. So oxygen is taken in from the alveoli, and there what is given? Carbon dioxide is given. And this is how the exchange takes place between the lungs, the walls of the lungs, or you can say the alveoli, and the blood. Next is the diaphragm. Now diaphragm is located at the base of the thoracic cavity, or you can say at the base of your respiratory system. And you can even say that the diaphragm is a partition between your thoracic cavity and your abdominal cavity. Now there is a pressure which is created in your lungs. Now rising up of the rib and lowering of the diaphragm, it causes decrease in pressure on the lungs. And due to this, air moves into the lungs through the nose. When the ribs return to their original position and diaphragm rises up, pressure on the lung increases. Due to this, air moves out from the nose. It is just the difference of pressure. When one rises, other lowers. When other lowers, the next one rises. And continuous upward and downward movement of diaphragm is necessary because it is very much important in breathing. So two things are very responsible, that is the diaphragm, it should be proper, the lowering and the rising up of diaphragm is very important.